George Soros has figured this out. He's gone in and elected DAs in Democratic counties. Austin, Houston, Dallas, San Antonio. So 70% of our population controlled by Soros DAs. He went in and knocked off Democratic DAs because we can't get elected Republicans in those areas. So he went in and knocked off DAs who were actually prosecuting and replaced them with Soros DAs. Now, our legislature could fix that. They haven't. They could come in and say, AG, you have concurrent jurisdiction to go after these crimes. But because they haven't done that, crime is proliferating in all of our cities. Financial crimes, other types of crimes, because they will not prosecute crimes. And so the cartels have an open invitation. So do other cartels from other countries. So if you go out to our financial crime unit in Tyler, they will tell you about all these crime groups coming in from other countries because they know they can get away with it. And our legislature so far has not fixed that.
Why? Okay, so then the question of motive arises. Like, why wouldn't you want to stop crime in your state?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I find that DAs have more power in Texas than any elected official I've ever seen because they're not accountable to anybody. If they commit a crime, no one can prosecute them. If it's a state crime, they'd have to prosecute themselves. And they can allow any crimes in their area. And they can go after, in Texas, it is so easy to get an indictment. You just walk in, you can tell the grand jury anything you want to, you can lie. Once you have the indictment, you've got it. There's no getting out of it. And so I think a lot of our politicians are afraid of their DAs, even if they're liberal Democrats. But if we don't get control of this in our state, in other states, and give somebody like the Attorney General, I'm not going to be there forever, give that authority so that there's another way to prosecute when the Soros DAs, and Soros has figured it out, but the Republicans have not.
I mean, it's so obvious just in your 45-second explanation. It makes sense. So how is it that they haven't figured it out, or do they have a higher loyalty?
They're afraid of the DAs. They're afraid the DAs come in and lobby, and everybody's afraid of their own DA, that they'll get indicted if they do it. There's just that power because to get an indictment in Texas, you don't have to have. There's no recording of it. It's only one side of the story. You can, and if they lie and they get the indictment, there's no remedy. There's no consequence to the DA, and there's no remedy for the victim of that lie. You are going to trial. You can even, if somehow you could find out what happened in that secret grand jury proceeding, which I have before, it doesn't matter. You can go to a judge and say they lied. You still are indicted, and you're still at risk of going to prison.
You have to tell your kids you've been indicted.
And you might be in prison. You might be in front of a jury that doesn't know the truth, and you go to jail, or you're in a Democratic county, you might go to jail on something that they made up.
So you really think, I mean, I'm sorry to be so naive, but I grew up in this country and we didn't have things like this that I was aware of in 1985. But you think that members of the Texas legislature are afraid they'll be indicted if they push back against the DAs?
I think there is a fear, and there is this lobby effort. These DAs have so much power. Otherwise, why would they allow Soros to control the major cities and it's obvious that they're not prosecuting crimes. They won't even prosecute shoplifting for, like, if you have free ride, if you want to, as long as you take $750 a day in Dallas County, whatever the number is, and you go to different stores, you can do that every day. And the DA there said, we will not prosecute you.
But why would you want that unless you were trying to destroy a civilization?
Soros, it's exactly what he wants to do. So
there's no political goal here.
It's just destabilization.
Right.
And it's so easy. It is literally so easy to do that. And he also, I believe, got control of our Court of Criminal Appeals, which is our highest court. We have a bifurcated system in Texas. We have the Texas Supreme Court, that's the final appeal in civil, and the Court of Criminal Appeals. But no one knew who they were. And suddenly they strike down a law that allowed me that directed me to prosecute voter fraud. And they took it away just by saying, oh, it's unconstitutional because you're in the executive branch and separation of powers says you can't be in court. How insane is that? So I've had to go run I'm trying to take that court back. But right now, I can't even prosecute voter fraud, which opens us up to unfair elections in Texas, which I was prosecuting plenty of voter fraud before that happened.
So who's supposed to prosecute voter fraud?
The Soros DAs.
With Donald Trump returning to the White House, this country has a unique opportunity, maybe our last opportunity, to save ourselves from the anti-American and anti-human left. But our efforts may be stymied by the deep state. That's what happened to the first Trump term, permanent Washington. stands in the way of all efforts to improve the lives of ordinary Americans. And right now, they are scheming to do the same thing to the second Trump administration. They are determined to keep their stranglehold on power, regardless of elections, anti-democratically. That is a fact. So what do you do to fight them? How do you defeat the deep state? Well, one way you can is by supporting the Heritage Foundation, which is in Washington and understands exactly how it works in such a way that they're a threat and they're under attack. You know who's effective because they're the ones under attack. Heritage has a comprehensive plan to dismantle permanent Washington and restore the country to its democratic foundations. It's important. Visit heritage.org/Tucker to learn more and to support this critical effort. And when you make a gift today, you get a free pocket constitution to make certain that you are equipped with the founding principles on your person at all times. It's amazing to read it. Again, that's heritage.org/Tucker.
So that's where we're at in Texas. So that's why I ran. This is a 9-member court, 6-year terms. They waited till 2 days after the filing deadline to announce their decision. This is a 1951 statute that has thousands of cases of precedent. And they came up with this insane idea that it was unconstitutional for the attorney general to be in court because I'm in the executive branch. If that's true, every AG in the country is violating the Constitution. So that was the rationale. I had to wait 2 years. I recruited 3 people to take out the 3 people that were up. So we've replaced 3. We've got 1 good one on there, but we're still down 5-4. So until we fix those things in Texas, we're at risk.
Oh, big time. Oh, big time. So do you think that these Soros DAs have hesitated to go after the drug cartels?
They don't. They don't go after crime in general. They don't work. They do political crimes, but they generally are not there. They don't do their jobs. They don't prosecute.
Even when people get killed?
Hit and miss. But they're not. The message from Soros is, let as much crime go as possible.
It's amazing that a non-U.S. citizen who hates the United States, hates the West, could have that much power in our country.
It's just his money. It doesn't take very much. It doesn't to elect a DA in a Travis County, which is Austin. You're in a Democratic primary. It doesn't take that many votes. I was working with a DA there who was a Democrat. I didn't agree with her on everything, but she was doing her job. He spends a little bit of money, takes her out. And suddenly now I've got a DA who won't prosecute anything. Same in Bexar County, which is San Antonio. I worked with a DA a lot in Bexar County, a guy named Nicola Hood. His brother is now converted to Republican. He's a state rep. He was awesome to work with. And
he was a Democrat.
He was a Democrat. He did his job. Guess what? Soros replaced him with money. So that's what it doesn't take him that much money. He controls our whole situation with crime and controls our judicial system, at least on the criminal side. And we're sitting here letting it happen in Texas and other states.
What did you think when Joe Biden gave George Soros the Presidential Medal of Freedom?
Disgusting. I mean, the guy's done more as far as I know, there are not many people in the world that have done more harm to our country. And he's being applauded by Joe Biden. It's not surprising because Joe Biden has the same motivations.
Yeah.
I mean, what did Joe Biden do that was good? Can you name it? I can't think.
No, they worked from day one to destroy what past generations had built, this amazing country.
And it had to be on purpose. And the reason I say that is because you would think that randomly he would have done something good if it weren't purposeful. He would have had something economically, internationally, the border, something would have been right? Just randomly. There's no
the law of averages suggests a victory once in a while.
The bell curve tells you he would have had something good. He didn't have anything good. It was all on the other end of the curve, the downside of the curve, which was harm to Americans. That cannot be accidental.
And to individual Americans, I think that's absolutely right. But I'm so fixated on this. Why would you want to do that?
I truly believe that this started, I think, with President Obama, first president I believe that didn't love America, that really thought we were a bad country, that thought we were racist and that we deserved to be taken down to another level. And I think they operate under this idea that we're a bad country, that we're bad people, and that we don't deserve this. And they fundamentally don't believe in what was created here. I truly believe that.
And they want to destroy it, take it down, dismantle it.
Because they think it's bad. Yeah. They think we're bad.
I don't see another explanation. There's hate behind it. There's no doubt about it. Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. We hope you'll subscribe to it. And by the way, you can hit the little bell on there and get notifications every time we produce a video. We hope you'll do that also.